He'll huff, and he'll puff, and he'll blow your dad like a working girl until he never works again.
Hilarious. Like and subscribe.
Cash rich, blood poor. After my pussy tactics have taken root, not quite as useful as pussy tactics, but that's a weird flavor of breath mint. People might think you've been eating cat food, and we usually leave that for the...
We are expected.
Any good CSEC officer removes problems before they create a public nuisance.
Most good CSEC officers don't smear their face with mayonnaise before they go to work, but clearly you didn't get that memo.
One is free to share the glory of the enkindlers.
Make the most of this? Shepard, are you converting? Are you converting to bubblegum Jesus?
This one has little money, but it can offer this.
And what those tentacles do, though. Rather, your pulsating nostrils, they seem pretty intriguing, too. Toggling your helmet makes you explode. While we're doing all this, will my future wife turn inside out if I press this tog? All that boring, everyday, fucking run-of-the-mill, la-di-da, dry cleaning of a spouse you don't love yet. Well, I think it might be time to psychoanalyze the blue situation up here. Whether or not these blue pointy lives matter, so to speak. Or if the hot pink flavorful ones might have a little bit of an edge. Despite being tall pillows, just made to be merch. Please God let them hover though, so I can fall asleep standing up. And wet dream while presenting to the class. Presenting, clearly, a burst drain pipe in manly eclair form. I think he might be jelly of the jelly. No one melted down a pig spine and made you out of it. And even with crest-sucking lips like this, I think I'd struggle to blow any bubbles into or out of you. But this guy? My God. Just two of those rippling raspberry tentacles ran off of a crimson chin workout to last 3 fucking years. You've chomped one, you've chomped them all. Have a fucking cheat day. Eat a cock. Human, if, you know, that's still something that tickles you now that you got options.
I have a business proposition for you. Powerful crime bosses. You could do the galaxy a favor.
Stupid old lady, hanging out with tiny circles. We're not losing the race because of my portly circumference. She's an old lady, and she's in a suit.
What do you get out of
That means money. She's a higher form of old lady. The evolved form, if you will. Some call it older. Now tell me how many plasmid midichlorian sweet rolls have been pilfered from your stocking? Aren't you a little bit dusty up the front mind, my little canary, to tweet on in? Let alone come out with the yeast-risen goods. If only necromancy was so easy. Sort of a penny a pat on her charming pits kind of situation. So they can get their shag on with her yogurt. But no, it's more of a charge you of the best years of your life and never let you see any of the suns in the galaxy again. Especially one that came out of your balls. By the way, he's got his dad's balls. Not that they resemble yours, mate, because you're a grandma. Just when, you know, we turned you into a grandma by cutting them off mid-interrogation, the prison guards sent them back to him in case, you know, earrings kind of situation. It's fashionable. It's a Krogan thing. So why in hell are you acquainted? You're just a cool old lady with a cool old lawyer. Don't remember being close to this boy. Damn it! Fuck. How many of these lads have I sucked money out of their assholes? There's gotta be one place that I just haven't visited ever since. One boy I haven't sucked. And it's not you, I recognize you. Man, I could never forget that one. That was quite the sucking. A guzzling moment, forever sealed in a Kodak free trial that has recently expired. On picturesofinsectass.com, password recovery email service. Do not reply. No, seriously, that's a note to self. Do not reply. There will be no sound for the rest of this video. Unless you consider skybound cosmic metropolis dramatic to be, well, actually, that was my voice. Yeah, I did this entire game soundtrack a cappella, and that's why I've got such an attachment to it. You should all buy it. I get all the money. Casey Hudson crawled out of my mouth and had a fantastic day at work and a beautiful cup of Java from the working man. I am the cake he was baked in, and he is the stripper of creations that will make us never feel like relationships IRL are moderately worthwhile. When we could hear Rex say 300 more times in a matter of seconds with an awful lot of space bar wearing outing. This game has full control over my entire body right now. Can you rub your belly and tap the back of your head at the same time? Neither can I, because it's forcing me to jack off with my big toes together. And they used to be enemies, so it's sort of like it's a redemption arc for old Lefty there. That being said, I didn't clip very well, so oh damn, that's jagged.
I did a job here. This place gets fantastic.
You know what I can believe, though, girl? I can believe I landed that headshot, because honestly, a recently hit by a train, triple red-breasted Christmas Robin could have probably pulled that off. If I could go cow-tipping on your office chair, then I absolutely would. But I guess the minor band-aid punishment that I can give you of removing 6% of your brain in a matter of, you know, a minor finger efforts on my part. Well, let's just say only one of us can reload the empties. At least Peppa Pig can play in your Grey Matter's muddy puddle. Lady Dimitrescu dies out and there is only one giantess to wank to. Maybe avoid the pig and go right for Clifford. More exotic, you know? Pigs are already the metaphor for fat everywhere, but Clifford? Is calling someone a dog? I don't even know why that's an insult. Everyone loves dogs. It increases your attractiveness rating like crazy. So if you were on a leash, and that's in it, what? You should be on a leash and you'd make me hotter? That sounds like a pickup line if I've ever fucking heard one. Anyway, enjoy your day, but if I ever see you again, I'm coming for the flavor feed. Where were all the fucking patrons, customers, whatever, consumers of the tits? Where were they when I was murdering people?
I get the feeling these women are not held in high esteem.
You're actually really wrong about that, aren't you? I mean, probably not by the customers, but I'm pretty sure Asari really respects strippers. Young Asari are expected to become some form of sex worker, and they live like 1,500 years anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Spending like 10 years as a stripper is like, I don't know, getting naked once. I'm Commander Shepard, and sex work is my favorite realist real work on the work horse. Don't do it on a horse. That's, I mean, just for your own safety. Superman died to that. He had to do a striptease. He had all the kryptonite itching powder out of his overpant. They may not be held in high esteem, Tali, except by, you know, every single Asari's middle tentacle. The one that pitches the tent of Tentaculae. Which is honestly the most literal representation of horny we will ever get. But, you know, but be careful. Those, biotic, bouncy boing girls are very likely to gore you like an Azure Rhino blue tack mascotting. But if not high esteem even for the humans, I mean, they make the steam rise very high, assuming you're banging inside of a brazen bull torture device.
The story won't stay secret for long.
It's just Rex's voice. You asshole! You're literally hanging out on my ship, being a dick. You saved this woman's life, and now you're blackmailing her? Okay, to be fair, you're probably in a position to. She kinda owes you everything.
I was fired by my previous employer for giving out free medical supplies.
French people constantly sound like they're just choking on their own tongue. Like their tongue is 99% of their mouth, and there's only one tiny little hole where words can get out. It's a really strange accent, but people love it. Maybe it's just the promise of such a massive tongue that people enjoy. With a really porous, brassy leather hide, which muffles your screams in favor for a very, very sexual, sensual tuba time. Which is sad, because what you really needed was scuba gear. If you ever plan to breathe again, the tuba was just too fancy. And now your eat fresh submarine toasted and cheese please sex position with the squid fringes is it's all going to waste. It's all going to waste, and it will be a sad, sad epitaph for you. And Grandma won't be invited to your funeral because, well, somehow she's a virgin, and this would be deflowering such a fine, pure trophy wife for baby blue granddad with a slightly less grand slam chamber, shall we call it, that sort of prevents him from being called daddy. But, you know, I mean, it's the family position he has chosen. He's the gardener. He's got a strimmer for some reason, and I don't mean on Twitch. I mean the green garden string that sends sharp pebbles into unexpecting toddlers' eyes over the fence. I'll miss those stories, Grandpa. You know, the ones you told me while the doctors had to numb the shit out of me while they were pulling the golem pieces out of my pupils. You nefarious, clumsy, handsome cunt. I got his genes, I gotta be nice. I wonder what Grandpa's favorite strip song is. And can I find it on Fallout Radio? Maybe that'll finally help me clear the side mission of turning the nursing home into gamers! I don't think they play poker, but strip cribbage is not off the table.
Just show me what you've got.
And it's all thanks to Grandpa's naked nursing.
Enjoy.
Thank you for this tangent, Tolly. I feel like I should pay you. In love. Take off that helmet. I don't want to wait. I'll get the best of both worlds. I can sample you, you'll die, we'll get emotional for 3 minutes, and I'll finally get to try Liara with no reason to look back. Other than when I, pretend it's you, because there is no looking back. Looks like my master weapons are called the Ham Wizard. I know Peppa Pig's parents tell her that she can be absolutely everything, but I was hoping she'd replace me in the keeper milking department. By that I mean feeding the milk, okay? There's no sexual gratification. That is not why I'm being paid for my hard poke work. It is a straw-sucking procedure, and it's very, very, very clandestine and Hollywood in nature. You don't want to know what happens here. None of us have normal cocks, okay? Our fingers are barely recognizable by most plain members of society. Normies, we call them. My handsome polydactyl 6 can work wonders. Or at least tell the sister that everything's fine. Don't fucking slap your hands at me as if you won. Hello, shells. Or perhaps sjells. Don't want to presume how you meant to pronounce shit in your horrible octopus language.
Thanks for getting her out of Cora's den. I'd just forgotten what it was like to have her around. I haven't had a decent tip since she got back.
Aren't you twins? I remember her looking exactly like you, Rita. I guess that just confirms that Rita is one of the worst names I've ever heard in my entire life, and all aliens agree, despite half of them sounding, pre the natural electro-translator that lives deep, deep, deep in my fucking lobe canal. A lot of it's a little bit but Rita doesn't really sound very good in that either, In fact, that's exactly what I just said. But like a jovial mix between Billy Connolly and Leatherface, Bubba. So, take with that what you will. Be my 6 fingers, savior of the sisters. Tell us the story again! Okay, beloved. You cow. Goodbye, Rita, least shaggable but most caring sister. It was a hit on Broadway, and you're the only one no one's dad stalked on Facebook after that one scene. I've never seen it. It's probably an arse somewhere. Won't be yours, unsexed reet. If you need a taste of wizardry, just see what these 6 extra fingers on my plates of meat are able to provide in a mixed species mammogram setting with benefits. And I'm no veterinarian. I am, however, of the Aryan race, and I do appear to be a veteran in rank. 2 very unfortunate things that are bad choices in life, Maybe if I wasn't so milk-inclined of the lactose persuasion, I wouldn't be quite so alabaster in my cadaverous dough that I pilot around desperate to bath it off. If only my co-pilot understood. But sadly, he's got an inexplicable floral pattern over his face permanently that looks like a spoiled 5-year-old's first iPhone unbreakable case. But she'll find a way. She spends a lot of time searching the toilets. Now we got a decision to make. Do we make shitloads of freaking YouTube money, or do we hand it in to this adorable little gentleman right here? He's very round. Wow, what an absolutely pathetic cliffhanger for the next 3 minutes. I gotta zhuzh it up. I could at least fill him with space custard. Right from the space horse's space mouth. That's the saying. Look, I'm not just saying because the mole man is funneling some goodies out of some military-grade silly billies. Means that he should be forced to shit down the poverty gutter for the rest of his life. But it might be improved sounds from the DJ they actually have in here, Also, you have one singular game. There's gonna be like a subreddit full of buildcraft for this. Solarians think at like 40 times light speed. And you telling me that the Volus don't have a nude mod yet? I imagine they'd look like Sphinx cats. But anyway, you're telling me that your game hasn't been stripped down to its barest, boniest MLG cyber mugging? I don't know, man. I'm just saying that you would make one hell of a protagonist in a pinball machine. And have I got just the right pressure to hold down the spring thrust for you? Although here, I imagine they use rockets. Get lucky, get lucky, get lucky, get lucky. Ow! That wasn't lucky. Now they're gonna repossess all my husbands! And my heroism and ability to save the world. For fuck's sake, Mass Effect 4 confirmed to be steadfastly led by this asthmatic bourgeois stinge ball as the protagonist. Which would actually really work. I'd be very down for that. I played the ME3 multiplayer. I bounced around as their full-body moobs got crushed under the weight of a somehow still anti-gravity pocket nuke. But it would really work if his ass really was automatic rather than the stick-shift nightmare that I have to work with just to get him to lunge out the starting gate. Alright, we made like 50 pence. It's time to make our daring escape back to home sweet, well, not Norman, Shell's. The Shepherd Cave. Back to retreat into our social shell that is absolutely impenetrable. And where we may never find love, we'll be jilted at all the altars and listen to a lot of Tom Jones. Elcor tribute acts. What's going on, old Shelley Loveless?
You enjoy those winnings.
I don't think Garrus will hate me for committing fucking crimes. He is a much gooder boy here. Just want to pet him, just want to scratch him under the chin. Does he have a chin? Want to scratch him in one of his many, many, many flaps. We also have something to do for Big Mitchell in there, the boulder-tongued Frenchie.
I am sure you will find something pleasing.
This is a meatball with style. Even if you do pat my ex in all the right spots until her leg starts to flail uncontrollably. Shepard doesn't fuck dogs. She's got issues.
Hello there.
Issues in the vein of most shih tzus. Is that a fucking anagram? No? Is the joke both words have an SH sound in it? I think so, and that's the best you're getting this evening. You can try complaining, but I tied up and gagged the manager. So I guess you could say that she's pretty herself.
Shut up, Moreland.
I will give you anything not to report me to the authorities.
What the hell's going on here?
I knew it couldn't be Morlan that's trying to fuck with me when everyone seems to think he is the most famous possible president of space there has ever fucking been. I would throw my knees in the path of the greatest danger, even if all you'd ever do to save my kind is twiddle your thumbs about 3 miles per hour faster. I guess, you know, the historians will say you were attempting to create a vortex, but after doing it so many times, your thumb power was depleted, you know. Humans had to make that sacrifice. Our ghosts will thump for you forevermore.
Otherwise, I'll start telling people about the doctor's little secret.
Ooh, fill me in, buddy. We haven't heard about this. Let's gossip together. This man looks like he's an extra in the cast of Mean Girls, right? Why not? Let's try and appeal to his better nature, which is probably entirely restored in his tiny little tail there. What the fuck is that? There is something really off about my cheeks. Fucking skyscrapers of skin. These aren't the gently flapping 8-inch Kevlar compressed cheeks. Also, because of the Kevlar, they don't really clap. They make an annoying ping. And then I get winded, and then there's the wheeze, and it's just not the sound you'd hope for from an interspecies family fun train like that. Where the only way to redirect the trolley of man squish. Well, judging by that cranky little groundable no prom for you Krogan, we gotta satisfy, let's call it, the west half of Virginia, before we satisfy right Virginia. Wait, he's a virgin. Which means his ticklishness has not reached its full potential. This is what we fight for, soldier. It's the only way he can move around without bursting both of his testicles at once. And creating the little brother of the Big Bang. You can show whatever sex scene you want. You won't get monetized, but they don't give a fuck. I have realized that this embarrassing wonky thought piece very much sounds like someone who just wants YouTube to be entirely porn, and yes! It's okay, guys. I'll start first. I'll upload the sex tape. That bolus required to allow me to smooth on my way through the casino without physically becoming the basketball court that him and a Krogan like to double dribble on while he is the ball. Actually, that's exactly what I had to film. It just meant it never had to happen again to anyone. Not just me. I am your newly bruised
Commander,
rebound martyr. Rejoice and feast your eyes on my needless pounding. I did it for the tube,
Really?
Susan.
That's a great
I did it for the tube.
Thank you. I still continue.
That accent, it confuses the hell out of me. Doesn't do anything for my dick. I don't know why it does for the entire male population in the world.
Place on this ward to buy upgrades.
Best place on this ward? Dude, the wards are a homeless shelter without the shelter where they tease you with things that cost pennies. Pennies that you need to use to build a home out of daddy's credit cards. It's like a regular house of cards, but if my dad is bigger than your dad, then the big bad wolf's gonna come and blow. He'll huff, and he'll puff, and he'll blow your dad like a working girl until he never works again. But seriously, saying anything is good in this place, like, hey, that hobo has the best empty scrunched tin can out of all the hobos in this 3mm squared hopscotch grid that I recently built just before I started saying this sentence. Hey, this sad collection of out-of-date orange peels in the shape of an arch to form a makeshift bungalow, that guy in there, he's even more homeless than that blind, limbless beggar over there. At least that guy can afford a hat and glasses that do absolutely nothing for him because of his aforementioned blindness. Give me all your sweet, sweet card swipes, not him! Hell, someone will probably eventually take him home as the final addition to their feature wall anyway, and he'd be happy for it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's not actually a TED Talk. We call it a TED Talk, but it's actually a front for my hobo off, not fight to the death, but fight to absolutely the last scrap of old Maxim magazines that you use as blankets. I was there once. I know what it was like. I wonder what the prize is for Victory Hobo. One cybernetic brain implant that just live streams all of your suffering 24/7. You can be the Robo Hobo. And we'll make even more money off of your sad, coiled up in a freezing fetal position bin plight. Any TV networks out there? You wanna hit me up on this one? I'm open. I do nothing all day. Call me. This is the opposite of the right way. Shepard, I know you're reluctant to go down, but Tali won't love you if you don't. Oh wait, this is down. It's my dad and ghostly Nelson Mandela.
Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice on that recording, she has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheus.
Oh, no, I know where we're going.
Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre.
I'm not convinced you are human, though. Look at you. Your face is like bioluminescent. He gives off like this weird white glow. It doesn't make any sense. Anyone who Michael Jacksons themselves clearly can't be trusted. I mean the pigment shift, not the touching kids. The touching kids is kind of a given.
If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
You're literally the voice of the Arbiter, dude. Everyone's gonna listen to you. I'm still just some kind of milquetoast bitch man. I haven't carved out my personality yet. He's one of my favorite voices in the world, and I wish he could narrate my very existence. Just even when I'm taking a shit, I need that man in my ears. Describe it in the most graphic detail imaginable, and it'll still make me hard, no matter how disgusting the subject matter.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now.
Well, the first thing you gotta know about this thing that happened to me 20 years ago is that it happened to me almost 20 years ago. I can just interrupt him. He's like got all his, alright, gather around the fucking campfire as I regale you with tales of how I'm such a shitty person, and we can just stop it. Like, he's gotten really into this and we could ruin his day. I would never do that to you, Dad. I mean, Anderson.
Saren accused me of blowing the entire planet.
Please come on the ship. Just, I'll give you, like, my fucking room. You can have the captain's office. You can have whatever the fuck you want. Just give me any chance to watch you sleep one last time.
I should go.
I'll be here.
I'll protect you, Dad. But we now immediately need to turn back and leave. He's just giving us, like, orders to go on this incredible, life-saving, urgent, galaxy-wide mission. He hands over his ship and everything. It's this big, beautiful, emotional moment. That one last talk. And I just turn around and walk back there. To go to a strip club, no less.